Hello, a very good evening to you. Welcome to ITV News and to Wednesday night's calendar.
Thank you very much for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
Stitched up by the system, the postcode lottery when it comes to local councils covering the rising costs of school uniforms as families struggle with the financial strain.
I'll be spending over £200 or more to get uniforms for them. It's quite a bit expensive.
A game of life, the 7-year-old cancer survivor uniting the rugby league community to raise awareness of the importance of stem cell donation.
I would say to people that haven't registered, you can register, it won't hurt, it'll just be a tiny scratch. You'll feel a bit bleh after, but it will save someone's life just doing that.
Rallying together, we meet the table tennis players with Parkinson's disease, shouting about the power of ping pong.
And ringing in a new era, how traditional Morris dancing is drawing in new crowds. Could you be tempted to jingle your bells? But first this evening, low-income families across our region struggling with the cost of school uniform are being warned they face a postcode lottery as to whether their local council will chip in to help bear the costs.
Many schools insist on branded uniforms and PE kit, which has pushed the average cost for a secondary school uniform to more than £400.
A handful of this region's local authorities do offer grants for low-income households, but most do not. Well, today a pop-up free uniform exchange shop launched in a Leeds shopping centre, and volunteers say it's schemes like these that are now a lifeline for families coping with rising bills.
For Mum Amar, providing uniforms and ice creams for 5-year-old twins Kamsi and Kaima, every penny counts.
I'll be spending over £200 or more to get uniforms for them. It's quite a bit expensive.
Can you afford that?
I'm a single mum, so no, I can't at this time.
Today, Amar was one of dozens of parents who took advantage of this pop-up free uniform exchange shop in Leeds' Merrion Centre. If you want to know about the cost of living crisis, look no further than school uniforms.
The cost of school uniform is frankly, well, astonishing. The government says the cost of primary school uniform, including PE kit, well, the average cost is £343. And for secondary school pupils, that goes up to £442. If you have a number of children, well, the costs, they're eye-watering.
Hayley's a mum and works at a local school.
My eldest starts high school, not this coming September, but next September. And as a parent, it fills us with dread because we look at the kind of clothing list, we see what he needs, what he doesn't need, all this branded stuff, it's all got to be emblemed, blazers, and it's just, when you look at it, it's racking up expense.
Only a handful of our local councils offer grants to help low-income families buy uniform. Barnsley is just about to start a scheme providing vouchers of up to £100. But help across the region is patchy.
Around about a quarter of councils have some sort of grant or support scheme in place to support people with school uniform. That includes quite a few councils throughout Yorkshire. Unfortunately, it's not consistent. We would love to see a standardised approach which covers all of the councils, but at the moment that's something that is lacking.
We initially started it as an environmental thing, but it's, with the cost of living crisis, it has switched and it's now more about helping families save some money that they could use on utility bills, feeding their children, things like that.
So what do mums and children think about wearing hand-me-downs?
And 9 times out of 10 you don't realise that it's someone else's stuff that you're wearing because it's hung up in the wardrobe and it doesn't look like, oh actually someone's been wearing this before me.
As for Kamsi and Kaima, they're more than happy with their nearly new togs and their newfound fame.
Is it your colour, madam?
It's a blue and white colour. My favourite is pink and purple. My favourite is rainbow.
You've got a future in television.
With the new school term just around the corner, many parents will be grateful for whatever help they can get. John Hill, ITV News, Leeds.
Yes, thanks to John Hill. Well, the government told us that they're changing the law to limit the number of branded items schools can insist on, which will save some families over £50 on the back to school shop. And this is a subject that's got you talking over on our Facebook page.
It has indeed. It's something that's obviously affecting an awful lot of people. Ashley Hislop from Barnsley says, my daughter's starting primary school and I've got some of her uniform from Vinted. The biggest bargain so far is 2 pairs of Clark's shoes that have never been worn for £25.
Sounds good. Julie Hewitt said, I do think that blazers should be stopped as they're a waste of money and badges should be sewn on yourself rather than the inflated cost of buying it from a supplier.
Leanne Wilder said, I don't mind the blazer and tie, etc. But when you have to pay £21 for one pair of trousers, all because it has a badge that can't even be seen, it's just ridiculous. Well, do keep your comments coming. We do love to read them. Now, next tonight, when baby Rycroft fell ill, his family pinned their hopes on a stem cell transplant saving his life. But sadly, after his operation, he caught an infection and died.
Well, despite the tragic loss, his dad, Andrew, has been working to get more people to sign up as stem cell donors in his memory. And the rugby league community in West Yorkshire is giving him its support.
An event is being organised to celebrate another child, 7-year-old Amelia, who's had a successful transplant. Katie Oscroft reports.
Just looking into this camera.
An invitation from a little girl to her special day.
There you go.
7-year-old Amelia survived a serious blood disorder thanks to a stem cell donor she's never met.
I'd say thank you very much for donating to me. It saved my life.
It saved your life, and what difference has it made to your life?
A real big difference.
Also in this lineup is rugby mad Andrew, whose baby son died soon after having a transplant.
I just had the idea.
Andrew is now fulfilling a promise he made to Rycroft.
Think back to the day we lost him, think back to the day of his funeral. And like the last words that I said to him before we had to leave him, we're not done here. And we're not done because as much as it rips me up that we can't do anything more for Rycroft, we know it is an absolute certainty there will be thousands, tens of thousands of children and people of all ages who need stem cell donors.
Amelia from Worcestershire was one of them. Andrew met her family in hospital.
The bruises and my tiredness is all gone. It felt really good. I'm not attached to anything anymore. I can run around, I can go to different places, but I just need to get really healthy.
Today, Amelia ran around with the mascots of Bradford Bulls and London Broncos. Their teams will meet down south in a month's time, and the fixture will raise awareness about joining the stem cell register.
You might never get called, most people never do. It's a sort of 1 in 800 chance that you'll get a call, but if you do, it could save the life of a child like Amelia, or like Rycroft, it could give someone extra time with their family. You can just grab one of those swabs for me.
And that's a message both teams support.
Rugby League has a huge track record of supporting the community, so this is just another great cause that they're supporting. I've played for Broncos before, I'm currently at Bulls. I know both clubs well, and I know that it's just going to be a massive spectacle and an amazing day ahead.
We're hoping to celebrate Amelia first and foremost and give her the massive, amazing day that she deserves. We're hoping to make a massive splash and get people talking about stem cell donation.
Rycroft never got to cheer on his father's beloved Bradford Bulls, but through Amelia, the Rugby League family are supporting his legacy. Well, it's good to see Amelia looking so well here at Odsal Stadium earlier today. Now, that Bradford Bulls fixture in London against the Broncos on September the 6th will see hundreds of fans travelling down from Bradford to support their team and the cause. Amelia will be the focus of attention before the match, and the charity will be handing out swabs like you saw in my report and urging people to join the donor register. Now, this, of course, all organised by Andrew, a big Bradford Bulls fan who lost his son Rycroft. And I'm sure you can imagine that this is a cause very close to his heart.
OK, Katie, Odsal Stadium, thank you. Such an important cause, as Katie says.
Well, you're watching Wednesday Night's Canada. Thanks for being with us, with Lisa Adlam and Ian White. And still to come, the table tennis players from Leeds proving that a Parkinson's diagnosis doesn't mean its game's over.
And the kids' summer holidays might be in full swing, but some of us work Monday to Friday 9 to 5. The weekend looks good too. All the detail a little later on.
Well, some more of the day's news now, and police say they've now traced the drivers of 2 cars seen in the area where a teenager was killed in a hit and run in Pateley Bridge. 19-year-old Bailey Chadwick was hit by a car in the early hours of Sunday the 20th of July. North Yorkshire Police had appealed for the drivers of 2 vehicles to come forward. They have now done so. Detectives say there's no indication the 2 vehicles were involved.
West Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Services warning of the growing threat of battery fires. This blaze at a waste facility in South Kirby is one of 46 separate fires there in the past year. The county's fire service has teamed up with waste management firm Biffa and Wakefield Council to urge people to safely dispose of lithium batteries, with messages on the side of bin lorries. The advice is they should never be put into a general waste or recycling bin.
The government says it's working to establish a football regulator to better protect clubs from being put at risk of collapse. It comes following the ongoing issues at Sheffield Wednesday, where players and staff have been paid late or not at all, several months in a row, and the closure of the North Stand for safety reasons. The Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy, says she doesn't want to see another club cease to exist.
Heart goes out to the fans at Morecambe and Sheffield Wednesday. I've been working very closely with them and their local MPs. Too many clubs, including my own in Wigan, have been through this hell over recent years of poor owners bringing clubs to the brink of collapse. And we're working at pace now to set up the football regulator and make sure that this cannot happen to other fans in the future.
Well, the club has said that if current work to the North Stand isn't deemed adequate in time, season ticket holders will be allowed to choose seats elsewhere in the ground.
Campaigners say many disabled people still struggle to get access to the most appropriate wheelchair for their needs, despite a 10-year campaign to improve provision. The Wheelchair Alliance says getting the right chair means users can make more contributions to society.
It's just one of the many barriers that disabled people say they still face. Kevin Ashford's been looking at the challenges that wheelchair users have to overcome, whether it's obstacles to getting around or the attitudes of other people.
Para sports like wheelchair rugby can have a big impact. Both on those who take part, but also on expectations of what can be achieved with a wheelchair.
Those perceptions you get of, oh, they might get hurt or they might get more affected because of their condition. I say I want this because it shows that you can have independence and also have a sport that you enjoy, and it's really, really good fun.
There are, however, still many barriers faced by wheelchair users. In its latest survey, one charity found that 70% of those it questioned said the lack of disabled access directly affected their goals, plans or aspirations. And 78% said they weren't confident about visiting new places when thinking about accessibility. And wheelchair users also say it's often the attitudes and actions of other people that can make life difficult. Jeremy Dunford is from Ripon.
I was with somebody and they had the experience of it. And it was just last week and we were on a guided walk in the Dales and his wheelchair got caught on a rise, and one of the support people there leaned over behind him to try and manoeuvre his wheelchair past it and then try to push it. And in the end, my friend got a bit angry with him and said, look, leave me, I know what I'm doing with it. I can get it off. And he sorted it out himself. The other person assumed they knew how to drive his wheelchair rather than saying to him, can I help? They just intervened, and that's the sort of thing that still does happen.
Getting the most suitable chair can also be a struggle. The Wheelchair Alliance was set up a decade ago to try to ensure just that.
At the moment, there's just a complete postcode lottery for provision of the right wheelchair. And why is that important? Well, if you have the right wheelchair at the right time, then you can be more independent, you can have access to education and to work and contribute back to society. There's mental health benefits, but also physical health benefits as well. At the moment, far too much money is wasted trying to rectify a situation which could be better to begin with.
A spokesperson for the NHS told ITV it had introduced personal budgets for people with a long-term condition to pick a wheelchair that meets their individual needs, giving them more choice and control of the wheelchair provided. There's been legislation in place for decades aimed at making life a more level playing field for wheelchair users. But their experience would suggest more still needs to be done to improve access and, in some cases, change attitudes. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
Coming up after calendar is the ITV Evening News. Here's Lucrezia Millarini with some of the stories they'll be covering at 6:30.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the man who murdered grandmother and mother of 6, Anita Rose, on her morning dog walk, sentenced to life in prison. How to combat the spike in phone theft, the new solution that's being trialled, and one of the most recognisable props in film history, the special piece of plastic that could fetch nearly $2 million at auction. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Thanks, Lucrezia. Now then, do you know someone who makes a big difference in their community? Well, now is the time to nominate a person or group as Calendar's Pride of Britain regional fundraiser. And you've got until Sunday evening to do it. We're looking for our next champions, people who go that extra mile to raise money for a special cause and potentially enjoy a night they'll never forget at the awards ceremony.
You can go to itv.com/Pride of Britain to nominate individuals or groups of people. Only one person and their guest can represent the region at the Pride of Britain Awards event in London. Nominees must be aged 18 or over and be available to be filmed and have their fundraising story told right here on ITV Regional News. If you are under the age of 18, please get permission from a parent or guardian before you nominate. Nominations are now open and they close at 11:59 p.m. this Sunday, the 10th of August. A full list of terms and conditions can be found at itv.com.
Yes, get right in. We'd love to hear from you. Now, it's table tennis, but not as you know it. A Leeds ping pong team have all been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but they're determined to make it well to the top of a local league.
Yes, the so-called Parky Ping team wants to prove that the degenerative illness won't hold them back, and they say a diagnosis doesn't mean an end to an active life. Sally Patterson reports.
They're not just here to beat the opposition, they're here to beat Parkinson's too. This is Parky Ping, a group of players brought together by the disease and a determination to stay fit. For the first time, a handful of members have entered the Leeds Summer League. They want to show Parkinson's doesn't mean game over.
I'd rather not have Parkinson's, but having Parkinson's, I've seen doors open that I want to go through, like playing in international tournaments and things. So it's changed my life in positive ways as well as the negative.
Parkinson's is a degenerative condition that affects movement, coordination and balance. But research by the Parkinson's Outcome Project shows just 2.5 hours of exercise a week can help slow the symptoms.
Table tennis to me is, I think about what I've got to do, where I've got to go, so my body works properly, which is good. So I feel as though like I'm a normal person again.
Coach Peter Thompson says few sports match table tennis for physical and mental benefits.
Unlike other games, this ball is coming at you very, very quickly, and it's making the brain have to make decisions that you wouldn't have to make, for example, in snooker, where it's still, you've got time to calculate what you're going to do, you've time to get your positioning. In this game, it's coming at you, you have to do all that very, very quickly.
The group meets weekly in Kirkstall, welcoming players of all ages and abilities, adapting the game so no one's left out.
These may not seem like a traditional treatment for Parkinson's, but players here swear by the healing powers of this bat and ball, with every shot feeling like a small victory over the disease.
Their kit carries a quote from one of the original players, Steve Ryan, who died last year.
The joy that it gave him was very touching and very inspirational and very upsetting. And that was, he'd only been here a matter of weeks and months, so it just shows you how it can affect people.
A trophy could be on the horizon this summer, but for this team, every match is already a win. Sally Patterson, ITV News, Leeds.
Oh, good luck to them.
Absolutely fantastic, isn't it, Lisa? Yeah, brilliant. Good luck to them indeed. Now then, Kerry is here, and from ping pong to, are we talking about conkers tonight?
Well, I was just going to say, I think I've led a sheltered childhood because I've not played ping pong or conkers.
You've never played ping pong?
No,
You've
never
not
played
lived.
ping pong. I did play conkers, but we don't play conkers yet. I mentioned this last week. It's way off. It's September, October thing. They were on the trees, of course, after Storm Flores. Quite a lot of them on the ground now. So this is like super early. And also, Sue has seen the hawthorn berries coming through. And this is definitely 3 or 4 weeks earlier than we saw last year. So everything is ripening and coming to say hello about a month early, so please continue photographs of showings how those seasons are changing. Now I thought I'd show you this. This was sunset last night near Chesterfield. A big thank you to Alan Thompson of Derbyshire. I don't know if you noticed, everything was a little bit hazy, the moon was a little bit pink. It's all to do with the wildfire smoke that's coming across from the States at the moment. Nothing to worry about. It's about 10,000 feet above us, the same sort of height as the jet stream, so we don't breathe it in, but what it does produce is that haziness, so it sort of filters the sun. So it filters the sun today. It's been a little bit hazier, even though it's probably blue sky. It's sort of turned a little bit hazy in the afternoon, and also filters our sunrise and sunset as it's setting. Now, I know it's summer holidays, whether you're out towards the coast, a great shot here of Thornwick Bay, a big thank you to Shelley, or you're inland and you're doing some walking and some travelling. It's looking a little bit exciting, not just for us holiday makers, but even at the weekend.
Tell us more.
So we have got an area of low pressure. You might have heard that there's another storm coming. It's not going to affect us. It's going to move further north and eastwards, north of the UK. But what it does in turn is drag this area of high pressure and filters in the warm air that's currently over the continent towards us. So maybe sort of the second half of the weekend into next week, we could be looking at the high 20s. So that's something that I might be talking about in a bit more detail over the next few days.
We look forward to it, and even more detail at the end of the programme.
Of course, the full forecast.
Thank you very much, Kerry.
Yeah.
See you soon. Now, finally, a special anniversary is being celebrated in the world of Morris dancing.
Yes, can you believe it's 50 years since the Morris Federation was established? Originally, it was an association for women's dancing groups, but now it represents groups from all traditions.
And they're holding special events to celebrate the tradition and attract new people to give it a try. James Webster reports.
It's a year of celebrations for these Morris dancers. And some have been dancing for decades.
Morris dancing is so underrated. We do this all summer, every summer, and people don't realise. They go, oh, Morris dancers, they wear bells and wave hankies around, but there's so much more than that.
Others started more recently.
This is my first year out in front of the public, and I saw them a year ago at the Green Man Festival, and I literally saw them all spinning round, and I knew that was my destiny. I love it all. It makes me so happy.
These groups are all part of the Morris Federation, which is holding a series of special events to celebrate its 50th anniversary. There's one in Sheffield next month.
It's high intensity exercise, it's live music, it's fellowship, it's diverse people from all walks of life. There's a freedom in there that you can let everything else, any other troubles in your life go, and you can just for a moment relax and have a good time.
These quaint old traditional steps have endured for centuries.
Historically, Morris dancing was primarily associated with men.
Tradition keeps the Morris dance as fragrant as lavender.
The Morris Federation was set up to represent the growing numbers of female groups. Now it welcomes all traditions. Silkston Greens dancers are based in Dodworth near Barnsley. Their unique music celebrates both their Morris heritage and the instruments of a colliery band.
It links people together from the past and from the future, and it also brings people together in the now as well, so it's really important.
It's really good fun, as I love dancing, but it also keeps me active both physically and mentally.
It's social, and we get to go places all over the country every weekend, whether we want to or not.
I love dancing, the music's great, socialising's great, you know, it's good to be active, and it gets you out and about.
A year of practising will get sides ready for these big days of dancing out.
It's exercise, it's music, using your brain, music of course.
Of course, the band and fun.
I think people talk about finding your tribe, and with Morris dancers I have definitely found my tribe of equally eccentric, slightly bonkers people who just want to have a good time dancing.
And it's a tradition all of those here are passionate about continuing. James Webster, ITV News.
I've done it.
Have you? I can
have
imagine
done it.
you with some bells on your shoes.
You'll hear me coming.
With a
won't
hey
you?
nonny no and
Down
all
the
that.
newsroom, you'll hear me coming.
Would it be weather for Morris dancing? Let's ask Kerry.
Are you all right?
Just thought of you with your bells.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Yes, it didn't quite look like that today, but we definitely had a mostly dry and bright story. And we're expecting a bit more sunshine or blue sky as we head through into tomorrow. This was today, though. A big thank you to Gary Bryan of Ossett for taking a walk round Longwood Reservoir. You could just about see Castle Hill there in the distance. And yes, the road to the holidays for many of you as we head closer towards the weekend. For all of us, things are starting to settle down. This has been the story today. Mostly dry, just that hazy sunshine. This area of cloud is working towards us from the west, and it will unsettle things as tonight unfolds. So stay mostly dry for the evening, but with thicker cloud amounts. It's into the early hours of tomorrow morning, really, that we see those showery outbreaks of rain start to push eastwards and the winds start to whip up a little bit. So we're not quite as chilly as last night. It was a cooler night last night. We're 14s and 15s again for towns and cities as we head towards dawn. 5:30 and 8:53 are your sun times. Tomorrow, cloudy skies and showery outbreaks to start, but from the west into the afternoon, sunny spells, scattered showers. Yes, it will be breezy as we head through today into Friday, setting the scene, all of the clouds in the afternoon, stronger winds and the outbreaks of sunshine, but you will notice the breeze. And for us, out of sunny sun and in any showers. Mostly dry, best part of the day, probably the evening. A fine throughout the weekend, starting as we head through into Friday, setting the scene, all of the clouds and the stronger winds and the outbreaks of rain staying to the north. And for us, we start to import that warmer air, mostly dry and bright with some sunshine. Settling down, warming up. Settle throughout the weekend.
It's definitely very much my cup of tea.
Can't complain about that.
No, you can go out and do some Morris dancing.
What's so funny about me wearing bells on my shoes?
Mental image at something like that. We'll leave you with that thought. I'll see you later at 10:30. There
you go, settling down, warming up. That's your cup of tea.
It's definitely very much my cup of tea. No, you can go out and do some Morris dancing.
Well, I don't know what's so funny about me wearing bells on my shoes.
Mental image at something like that. We'll leave you with that thought. I'll see you later at 10:30.
Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.